Hello and welcome to Glow's Knitting Tips for Beginners. Today we're going to talk about stocking stitch. That's where you do one line plain and one line purl. We've got nice chunky needles to go with nice chunky wool, so hopefully you'll be able to see clearly what we're going to do. And to get your needles and get your wool, and if you cast your mind back to when you did your casting on, you've already done the actual knit stitch without realising it, but what you've done is not take it any further. You've created your loops when you've done that. But this is what you did, and this is how you do your knit. Stocking stitch, if I haven't already said, is one row plain, one row purl. So just make sure we've got plenty of wool here. Needles ready, wool ready. Wool around the fingers in your comfortable fashion, that's a personal thing. Right hand needle into the front of the first loop, wool around needle, pull it tight, bring the needle through, clattering it off the table as you do so, and just lift it off the needle. And pull that just a little bit tight because the end loop on this chunky wool does tend to get loose. So next knit stitch is needle through, wool round, pulling it through, lifting the loop off the left needle onto the right needle, and there you are, 2 stitches through. I'll do that again. Needle through the front of the wool, wool round, pulling it through, the tip of the needle, pull the wool through, create your new loop, bring it off, bring it over to your right hand loop from your left hand needle. I'll just do a couple more so that you can see where we're going to. Once you get familiar with this, you can get quite a good rhythm going. Some people amaze me at the speed they can do knitting. Others just like to take their time. It's much easier just to do it in a leisurely fashion. There's no need to be in a rush, but you can get to the stage where it just becomes second nature. You can actually watch television, do a little bit of knitting, you can listen to music, do some knitting, all the time being creative and creating fabulous things. So, can you see what I'm doing here? Right hand needle through the front of the loop, pushing it through, wool from the right hand once round the needle, pulling it back like that, needle through, picking up the wool, taking the loop off the left hand needle onto the right hand needle, and that's your knit stitches going along very nicely. Now what I'll do is I'll just take this to the end of the row, and then we'll work the other way, doing some purl stitches. So we have the knitting needles ready. We've turned the knitting round, so you'll notice there's a different side facing you because the pattern looks different. And this is interesting, and it's something that you'll learn and you'll acknowledge it automatically. This is the front of your sweater, and this is the back of your sweater. So when you do a purl row, the loops fall that way and they cause it to look like that. So here we go. Instead of going into the wool that way, straight across as you would do to knit your plain loop, you're going to do it the other way to knit your purl loop. So you put the right needle into the left needle, through the loop. I always like to hang on to it with my thumb. These needles are quite long and there's a little bit of weight to them, and that's why I do it. Get my yarn, put it comfortably around my fingers, and what we do this time is make sure the needle's well through. Put the yarn round the needle that way, pull it back and take the needle under the loop and you'll see it comes out the side. You've got your new loop here. Slip your knitted loop off and just get the wool in your right hand to pull it tight and into shape. Then we'll do that again. Main knitting needle into the front of the loop so the needles cross with the main needle on the top. Yarn over and round. Pull it tight a little bit. Take your needle back slightly. Catch the loop. Bring it through. Slide it off the needle onto the right hand needle and you've knit your second purl loop. Do that again. Right hand needle into the front of the loop. Take it in the left direction. Just pull that a little bit tight, not too tight. You'll learn as you go. The automatic reaction is to get this wool and yank it tight, and you'll find that you've got absolutely no give on your knitting at all. So you'll learn with practice if you tend to be a tight knitter. You'll learn how to calculate your own tension, to pull it off so that it's workable and comfortable. Because if your knitting's too tight, your knitting overall, when it comes out, isn't so good. So I've just done another two quickly there. So here we go again. Main needle, right hand needle, into the left loop, onto the front, going across the loop, push the needle through, hang on to that needle with the finger and thumb of the left hand, take the yarn from your right hand, wrap it round the needle, pull it back slightly, twist it, take it under. You can see them coming out there. That's your new loop, and you're sliding your knitted loop off and into your garment. I'll do that again. Holding the needles, yarn round, taking the wool through, sliding it off. It's quite easy. The yarn that we're using today is a really nice yarn. It's a Sirdar yarn. It's Sirdar Tundra Super Chunky. Isn't it just the most gorgeous mix of colours? They have a really nice range of colours in this wool if you care to check it out, if you like super chunky knitting. I do. I'm a great fan of super chunky knitting. You get to see results fast. I'll do you one more knee, one more. I'll just put that down and show you. The pattern is here. It's a really easy pattern, perfectly straightforward. I think it's quite short. You can always knit a couple of extra inches on or so if you want to. Tundra Super Chunky Sirdar on lovely, lovely big chunky needles, 10mm. That is a UK size 000 and a USA size, bear with me 1 second because it's just gone from my mind. I don't know why they can't all be the same. USA 15. Happy knitting and good luck with your stocking stitch, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.